Welcome to another edition of Spooky News from Spooky Ventures. This is the June 9th version of Spooky News. And we're now in the part of the year where the upcoming Halloween is closer than the past one is. The days are rapidly approaching their longest, which means that in less than 2 weeks, the nights will begin getting longer again. With every day that passes, we'll be closer to the time of year when the rest of the world joins those of us of the spooky tribe in our spooky pursuits. Now, before I get into the actual news, I need to make the usual announcements. First, remember that this YouTube channel and all things Spooky Ventures are supposed to be interactive, so please interact. Like our videos, share our videos, comment on them. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. If you know of someone I should interview or something I should include in a future news show, let me know. Secondly, if you want more information about any of the things I talk about here, there are 2 ways to easily find that. That's because I include all the sources for those in those 2 places. First, if you stick around after I'm done talking, you'll see that I give you the URLs right in this very video. Secondly, if you look at the details for this video, they are actually listed there too. Now, with all of that out of the way, it's time to get to the news. First, let's turn our attention to a piece of travel news. We'll start by traveling to Rhode Island. If you're a fan of the Conjuring movies, you might want to make a trip to that state. That's because you can now arrange a camping journey to the Conjuring House. There are 8 campsites on the grounds that will be available for limited dates between June and October. And you'll camp outside the home and be allowed to go through the building itself. It's a great way to make the Conjuring experience a bit more real for you. Now, the camping excursions start at $300. In addition to those, there are also overnight stays in the house itself that can be booked. You can get more information and book your reservation at theconjuringhouse.com. From there, let's turn to books. And the first of those I'm going to talk about is a graphic novel from Dark Horse. Now, I'm a big fan of superheroes and also heavily into the kind of cosmic horror that H.P. Lovecraft championed. Beyond Mortal sounds like just what I seek to combine both of those things. It presents a world where superheroes and villains gradually become aware of a growing threat. That threat is elder beings from the times of a young Earth that are trying to return to claim the world. That will arrive next January, but you can pre-order it now at your local comic book store. Next up, we turn our attention to a classic novel, The Amityville Horror. I remember getting the book for my 14th or 15th birthday and spending the better part of a few days making my way through it. Now, some consider it non-fiction. I personally am of the opinion that it's mostly fiction. Whatever you call it, though, the book is a classic that spawned not only a series of movies, but a whole subgenre of film. And I've reviewed several of those movies. Well, Suntop Editions is getting ready to unleash some collector's versions of the novel. There are several different options, including numbered edition and copies signed by the artist who did the new cover art and interior illustrations. The books are available for pre-order from suntop.press and are expected to be delivered sometime this coming winter. They look like they're going to be gorgeous books, and you can learn more about them at the same website. From books, we move on to music. That's because there's a brand new purple vinyl edition of the soundtrack album from the first season of the hit Addams Family spin-off series Wednesday. It's a 2 LP set from Lakeshore Records, and you can order your copy from their website at lakeshorerecordshop.com. And that brings us to the end of the actual news stories for this month. As always, I'll be taking a look at our spooky calendar, But before that, I wanted to remind you to stick around after I'm done talking for the source story URLs. Now, speaking of that calendar, you can always get to it via the main page at spookyventures.com. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll see the calendar link. Now, we list things of interest to fans of all things spooky there. Looking at that calendar, you'll see that today the movie The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster opens. It's a modern retelling of Frankenstein, and from the trailer, it looks pretty great to me. Now, there are a couple of birthdays of interest next week. Tuesday the 13th is the late actor Basil Rathbone's birthday. The next day, Wednesday the 14th, is horror-related heavy metal artist King Diamond's birthday. The Blackening opens a week from today on the 16th. The movie Mad Heidi opens on Wednesday the 21st. The following day, the 22nd, is the birthday of Ash Williams himself, Bruce Campbell. The final date for this month on our calendar is Saturday the 24th, which is classic horror author Ambrose Bierce's birthday. Well, that's all I have for you this month. As always, we'll be bringing you more videos over the next few weeks, including radio shows, audiobooks, and reviews. I should have another spooky news segment for you at some point next month. In the meantime, remember to always keep it spooky, because spooky is a lifestyle, not a season. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.